Vatican City, capital of the Catholic Church, home to the Pope and the smallest country in the world. So small, in fact, that it is circumnavigatable on foot in 40 minutes. Hi, welcome to Sid's Nook, and today we'll be looking at some geopolitics, more specifically the Vatican or Vatican City. So, how did we end up with this complicated mess that is the smallest country in the world? Well, the short answer is because Mussolini, and the long answer is fiendishly complicated. So, let's dissect this country step by step, one at a time. So, a few decades before World War II, a major portion of modern day Italy was ruled by the Pope. This land was known as the Papal States. So, it was during this centuries year old rule that the Pope constructed St. Peter's Basilica, the largest church in the world, and at the same time built a wall around a hill and called it the Vatican, within which St. Peter's stood. But the neighboring country of Italy thought that Rome would make for an awesome capital, so they conquered the Papal States. The Pope, refusing to accept defeat, hid behind the walls of the Vatican and refused to accept that the Italians existed, yet at the same time conflictingly said that the Italians had him imprisoned, which according to him did not exist. Now, the Italians did consider an attack on the Vatican but did not do so because most of the high officials and generals were Catholics, so it was a dilemma they faced. So, at the end, they decided to wait the Pope out, hoping that he would quit and reveal himself. But what is religion if not intransigence? So, 6 popes and 6 decades later came Benito Mussolini, the then ruler of Italy, who offered the Pope a deal. According to the contract, Italy will give the land of Vatican to the Pope as well as give him a lot of apology money. In return, the Pope must acknowledge their existence and at the same time be neutral during wars or political arguments and disagreements. The Pope agreed, and voila, you have yourself the world's smallest country. So, like any good governance, Vatican City has its own government, which looks after its own citizens, who follow their own rules, which is enforced by its own police, who put criminals in their own jails. So, what is so confusing about this country? Well, the thing is, Vatican City is not a democracy. It is an absolute monarchy, one of the very few absolute monarchies in this world, which is the only reason why it's not part of the European Union because only democracies are allowed. In order to understand the legislature of Vatican City, you first have to know who the Pope is. The Pope to the rest of the world is nobody but the representative of all Catholics, which is one way of looking at him, but for the people of Vatican City, he is also the ruler of Vatican City. How come? Well, for that we'll have to understand what the Holy See is. Whenever you hear the term the Holy See, it refers to the throne that the Pope resides on. Now, the popes may come and go, but the Holy See is eternal. Think of Holy See as Catholicism Incorporated. It is the main form of governance for the Vatican City. Now, since the Holy See is a legal person and legal person of authority in particular, it is the only form of governance that is in Vatican City and will be the only form of governance that will ever be in Vatican City. Even though it might be a form of elected monarchy, which might be confusing, but to understand how it's an elected monarchy, you will have to first understand how a person becomes Pope. Now, that's a topic for another video, but basically understand it how cardinals who are very high authority people in the Catholic Church, they elect who the next Pope is going to be if the Pope dies or happens to have retired. Since they elect who the next Pope is going to be, it is a form of elected monarchy because the Pope can change, but the governance cannot change. The governance, since the Holy See is bounded by a government contract. I know, you are still confused, so let me give you this example. Now imagine I am the CEO of a company. The company is called Sid's Nook. Sid's Nook wants to expand its reach beyond India's overseas borders. So, in order to do that, I purchase one of the biggest nearby islands. Once I have purchased said island, I have made a contract with India. Though I am not the one who has made the contract, the company Sid's Nook is the one that has made the contract. Now, after the company has finally finalized the contract between India and the company gets to rule over the island since it has legally purchased the island. But since the company is the one that has purchased the island, I, as the CEO, have no name in the contract, or at least no reference in the contract. The contract has not been made between me and India, it has been made between the company Sid's Nook and India. Therefore, the company Sid's Nook will always eternally be the governing body for the country. But since the CEO is the highest person of authority in the country or in the governance, that is the company, the CEO also gets to be the king. So, as the CEOs might come and go, the company will always be the government body, but the person in charge of the governing body may change. And depending upon the situation, it is sometimes better to be the king of the country, and sometimes it is better to be the CEO of the company. Think of the company as the Holy See, the CEO as the Pope, the island as Vatican City, and the contract being made between the company that is the Holy See and the country India or the country Italy in this scenario. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and I know nobody shares videos nowadays, but at least you can bring back the trend, I guess. So share this video with somebody you know who is probably interested in topics such as this. And I have been fumbling a lot during the recording. My God, God bless me. Okay, alright, see you on the flip side. Bye bye.